There's a voice in your head telling you there is not enough. Not enough resources, not enough time, not enough money, maybe not even enough of you to go around. There's a pressure pushing you to move faster, do more, get ahead of it before it's too late. And then there's a whisper, or maybe it's a little bit louder than a whisper, saying that you're in competition with everyone around you, that their win is your loss. And none of it is true, and none of it is yours. It's programming, and today we're naming where it actually comes from. If you're new here, I'm Meg. I'm a spiritual teacher and therapist, and I founded Your Sacred Rebellion. I created this place for people who realize the world has to change. They want to be a part of it, but they don't quite know how. Who know the mainstream path was never for them. I call these people edge walkers. And if that's you, you are in the right place. What we do here is deprogramming. We unlearn the beliefs that were never ours. We come home to ourselves because that's where the real work starts. So, in the first part of this series, we talked about the ego mind. What it is, how it works, the wounds that shape it. Those wounds we discussed in a prior video are personal. They come from your specific family, your experiences, the particular ways that your childhood shaped you. But there's another layer. Programming that might have something to do with your family, but they have everything to do with the culture you were born into. These are ones that all of us share. The collective programming. The beliefs we absorb just by existing in Western culture, in capitalism, within the empire. And until you see them, they run you just like the personal ones do. Okay, so before I get into the specific programs, it's really important that I name the foundation that they all run on. And that is fear. Fear is the empire's primary tool of control. A population that is afraid is a population that's manageable. They're not really questioning or organizing. They are frozen or frantic. But either way, they're neutralized. And how does the empire keep us afraid? I bet you guessed it. It's the news. The 24-hour cycle of catastrophe. The algorithm that knows outrage and terror keep you scrolling and keep you engaged. I mean, I think back to when I was watching the nightly news at 15. I mean, my mother was, and it was always about murder. And it's like, what? Why are we talking about this all the time? But that's what keeps people interested. This isn't information, it's programming. It's designed to keep your nervous system in a constant state of low-grade threat. So you never settle enough to think clearly, to connect deeply within yourself, to imagine something different. When you're afraid, scarcity makes sense, urgency makes sense, competition makes sense. Fear is the soil that all of the other programs grow in. So the first act of rebellion is recognizing most of what you've been told to fear is a lie designed to keep you compliant. Okay, so today I want to name 4 core programs. There's a lot more that we could get into, but these are some of the main ones that really get to us and almost everybody exhibits. So that's scarcity, urgency, perfectionism, and competition. So these aren't character flaws or personal failings. They're actually the propaganda of empire living inside your nervous system. And they serve a purpose. It's just not one that's working for you. Okay, first up, let's talk about scarcity. Scarcity is the belief that there isn't enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough opportunities, not enough food, maybe not enough love, or enough of you. Capitalism runs on this. It needs you to believe this. The empire needs you to believe that resources are limited so that you're fighting for scraps instead of overthrowing the 1% who have it all. Because if you knew, like really knew, that there was enough for everybody, you'd stop hoarding, you'd stop competing, you would start sharing, and this whole system would collapse. This is why spiritual laws of abundance were hidden knowledge for most of history. This is why indigenous cultures that practice collective resource sharing had to be destroyed. Scarcity is not natural. It's manufactured, and it keeps us afraid. So here's how it shows up. That constant anxiety about money, maybe even if you have enough. The fear of giving too much away, of being able to share. The sense that someone else's success diminishes your own. The inability to rest because you haven't made it yet. That's not reality. That's programming. Next up, we have urgency. Urgency is the belief that you're running out of time, that you're falling behind, that you need to do everything quickly or it will be too late. White supremacy values linear time, which in and of itself is a creation. Progress, forward motion, the idea that time is a resource that depletes and you're losing it with every passing moment. So we develop urgency, we rush, we push, we sacrifice our bodies, our relationships, our joy, our rest, all for some future moment when we'll finally be happy or caught up. Except we never catch up, because urgency isn't actually about accomplishing things. It's about keeping you too frantic to question anything. Here's the trap. Urgency can keep you in a cycle of not doing anything but feeling anxious and actually thinking that that anxiety, that worry is you doing something. You're so overwhelmed by everything that you should be doing that you freeze or you spin out, burn out. Either way, you're neutralized. Too anxious to rest, too depleted to act. That's by design. I can't tell you how many of my clients who are not even 30 years old are terrified that they are behind and will never make it if they don't get everything in line by the age of 30. And as someone who's in their late 30s, it pains me. I understand that there's nothing I can say, really. They have to do their own work to get to that understanding, and sometimes it comes with aging. But at 30 years old, your life is just beginning. There is no falling behind. At 40 years old, your life is just beginning. At 60 years old, you can change anything you want at any time. So how does urgency show up? It's the chronic feeling of being behind, that guilt when you slow down, inability to be present because you're always thinking about what's next, the sense that time is your enemy. That's not truth. That's programming. So perfectionism. Perfectionism is the belief that you have to be flawless to be acceptable, that mistakes are dangerous, that you have to get it right before you begin or don't begin at all. This one ties directly to the worth wound. If you already believe your value is conditional, perfectionism becomes the strategy. Be perfect and maybe you'll be safe. But perfectionism also serves empire. Because if you're scared to take risks, if you're scared to be seen, then you will not start and you will stay small. It'll keep you editing and refining and preparing instead of actually putting something out into the world that might challenge the status quo. Perfect is the enemy of done. And done, imperfect, messy, real, is what actually creates change individually and collectively. The empire doesn't care if you're perfect. It just wants you paralyzed by the pursuit of that perfection. Silent because you're not actually ready, invisible because you still think you're preparing. So how this shows up is procrastination disguised as preparation, harsh self-criticism, redoing things that were already good enough, fear of being seen as amateur, starting things and never finishing them because they're not perfect yet. This isn't high standards, it's programming keeping you small. And finally, competition. Competition is the belief that life is a zero-sum game, that their win is your loss, that you have to beat others to survive. The empire needs us to believe it's human nature to fight each other. I believed this for so long because the empire sows enemies between different races, different genders, different classes, so that we're turning hate towards each other instead of uniting against the ruling class. If we ever stopped fighting amongst ourselves and looked around, we'd see we have a lot more in common than we thought. We'd also see who the real enemy is. So that's why they keep us divided. They keep us competing for scraps at the table while they own the table, the feast, and the entire castle it's in. This is manufactured. Humans are actually wired for cooperation. We survived as a species for millennia because we worked together, not because we out-competed each other. Competition at this scale is a perversion of our nature. So this shows up as jealousy when others succeed, or comparing yourself constantly, feeling threatened by people who do similar work, inability to celebrate others' wins, the sense that there isn't room for everyone. That's not human nature. That's programming. We talked about the two-way street of our personal wounds and the empire's programming in a different video. And I want to remind you of that here, right? The personal and the collective reinforce each other. So if you carry a worth wound, perfectionism becomes irresistible because it promises safety if you can just be good enough. If you carry a safety wound, urgency keeps you hypervigilant because danger could be right around the corner. If you carry a belonging wound, scarcity tells you there isn't enough, so you better earn your spot. This is how the empire gets inside of you and stays there. So what do we do with this? Well, in one of the past videos, I'll link here, we talked about the rewiring process. It starts with awareness. When you can feel yourself not wanting to, share, ask yourself, is this actually true, or is this empire talking? If you feel competitive with someone, ask yourself, are they actually my enemy, or have I been taught to see them that way? Then I want you to have some compassion for yourself. These are things that we had no control over having been installed inside of us. But you can change it. And the way I would suggest that is do the opposite of your instinct, right? So, for example, like I struggle still with some jealousy for other people's wins. And what I'm working on right now is actually giving them a boost, like wanting to celebrate them. That's the opposite of my instinct, but I'm trying to stretch myself into a new response so that the programming is no longer controlling me. And that's what I would encourage you to do this week and in the coming weeks as you start to really unravel the places where this lives within you. But if it feels too hard, remember to regulate your nervous system. That's all part of the process of rewiring. Know that your body's got to come with you. Awareness is the first step, but then there's other things to be done. So now that we've named both layers, the personal and the collective programming, we can start applying this to the places where they show up the hardest. In the next video, we're talking about money. Yeah, that's a tough one. because it is the biggest one that runs on fear. So subscribe if you're coming with me. Share this with someone who needs to know what's running them that isn't theirs. And grab my free guide, Rewire Your Ego and Exit the Matrix. The link's below. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too much. You're just programmed, and programs can be uninstalled.